What up, YouTube? You already know, Big Lou tapping back in with what it do. Big Lou, baby, baby. Uh, so yeah, like always, sub, like, and share the channel with your family, friends, folks, gente peoples, comrades, camaradas, associates, associates, buddy, pals, amigos, amicos, and panas. It'd be highly appreciated as always. And feel free to comment. I respond back to all the comments. So also this past Saturday night, as I already did the UFC 282 video, there also was some boxing going on. And the WBO welterweight champion, Terrence Bud Crawford, stepped into the square circle once again to defend his welterweight title in his hometown of Omaha, Nebraska at the, I don't know if it's the SHI or the Chi Health Sports Arena. And he took on David, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Avenes, David Avenesan, who's a Russian who fights out of England. So the question was whether Crawford, an undefeated Omaha native who has held titles in 3 different weight classes, if he was going to get the win via stoppage, decision, or knockout. And the answer came in round 6, when in the form of a crisp 2-punch combination that put his opponent on his back, brought the capacity crowd at Chi Health Center to its feet, and prompted the referee Sparkle Lee to stop the bout. Bud got a pretty healthy payday, $10 million. Was guaranteed $10 million by BLK Prime, a subscription video on demand company. And they flexed his biceps and paraded around the ring with a wide grin. Inside the arena, speakers blared "Before I Let Go," an R&B classic by Maze featuring Frankie Beverly, which I remember that song very well. So Crawford's a free agent who has won 10 consecutive bouts by knockout or TKO. This was a one-fight deal. So everybody's still in big anticipation of the Spence Crawford fight for undisputed welterweight, right? The 2 men hold all the belts. Crawford holds one, the WBO, and Spence holds the WBC, WBA Super, and IBF titles. So everybody's looking forward to them getting in the ring. But if a unification bout with Spence is Crawford's long-term plan, Saturday's bout with David was a lucrative one-night stand. And like I said, everybody's looking forward to that. I don't know, if these 2 guys can't fight, at the welterweight division, then there's nothing more for these guys to do but to go up in weight and fight at the junior middleweight super welterweight division, which is 154 pounds. There's only one champion in that division. That's Jermell Charlo. He holds all the belts. He's also a good friend of Earl Spence, so I don't know how that would be, for him, because you figure if he's the only one that holds there's only one champion at the 154-pound division, in order to become a champion at that division, you have to go through him. So, pretty much Spence might fight 1 or 2 tune-up fights at the 154-pound weight class, but eventually he's going to have to go up against his buddy if he wants to become a two-weight class champion, right? There's no ifs, ands, what's about it. There's only one way. There's only one road, and that's through Jermell Charlo. He's got all the belts. He's undisputed. So, with that being said, are we ever going to see the Spence Crawford fight at welterweight at 147? It seems like nobody wants to be the B side. Both of them want to be the A side. At this point, they're 2 great fighters, right? Obviously now Crawford has extended his win streak. He's 39-0 with 30 knockouts, and he's it just said he has 10 consecutive TKOs in a row. Spence, on the other hand, I think he went to this distance with everybody. I don't think he knocked any of those guys out. Except I think Kell Brook ends up tapping out somewhere along the line, if I remember correctly. But Danny Garcia, he went the distance. Sean Porter, he went the distance. Ugas, he went the distance. I'm pretty sure he went the distance with Ugas. Maybe not. But at some point, him too. Spence, he's what, 20? I think Spence is 28-0. They're not getting no younger. Spence is 32 years old. Crawford's 35 years old. They're still, Spence is still considered his prime. Crawford is still, I believe, in his prime, but he's getting close to not being in his prime. I would probably say another year. I would say another 2 years. 37-ish. Not saying that he'll definitely fall in that like most fighters, but usually, 36, 37, that's getting up there. You know what I mean? But he's still on top of his game. He went in there. He started off a little slow, they say, but eventually he got the job done. It was a 12-round fight. He got the guy out of there in 6 rounds. Halfway through the fight, he knocked him out. The ref stopped it. It is what it is. I got Crawford, man. I don't know. I just see Crawford that no matter what, he's versatile. He's very versatile. He can, he starts slow sometimes, but then he can change things up in the mid fight. He can change things up mid round. He's got a game plan B, game plan C, and I've seen, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, but I've seen Spence hurt more than I've seen Crawford get hurt, and Spence has got hurt more recent with fighters. They were champions or ex-champions. Well, Porter was a champion when he beat him. Ugas was a champion when he beat him. Both those guys, I believe, rocked him. Kell Brook rocked him. He was the champion also. So they're all champion fighters. I'm not taking nothing from Spence. I just think Crawford is a better fighter. That's just my opinion. I know a lot of people ain't going to agree with that. But it is what it is. That's why we got debates, right? That's why we're entitled to our opinion. Everybody's not going to all agree with the same thing. Otherwise, things would be boring, right? But Crawford went in there and handled his business. People said, oh, he's ducking Spence. Nah, what it is life goes on. We can't make this fight happen. So I got to keep boxing. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep boxing. I want to continue to make money. I'm not going to just stop fighting to hope one day that the Spence fight happens. That's just not the way it works. You know what I mean? So Earl Spence is going to be fighting, I believe, in Dallas again sometime soon. I believe Crawford puts more asses in the seats than, Spence puts asses in the seats, but he fights a lot at Cowboy Stadium, right? So we'll see what happens there. But nonetheless, shouts out to Bud Crawford for another victorious bout, and retaining his WBO welterweight title. He defended it successfully again. The difference between the two fighters is Spence has been undisputed at a weight class. Then he went up to another weight class, won belts in there, and now he's in his third weight class, and he's a current champion. Spence has only fought at welterweight, but again, he's still fairly young, I guess you could say, 32. But now it's that time, man. Either you're gonna make this Spence fight happen, or you're gonna make this Crawford fight happen and attempt to become undisputed, or you're just gonna go up to junior middleweight as holding 3 belts in the welterweight division, which is still a hell of an accomplishment, right? The IBF, the WBC, WBA Super, go up, and then there's no other road but to fight your buddy, your pal, right? You guys are both from Texas. The Charlo brothers and Spence, they train together, I believe, at the same gym. Sparring partners. So at some point, either you're gonna go up that, or you're gonna bypass that and go right up to middleweight. I guess that's possible too, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I think as of right now, if you compare the two resumes, I think Spence has the little bit more of the upper hand on the resumes, just because he's fought champions and ex-champions as Danny Garcia, 2-weight class champion, WBC welterweight champion. He fought Porter, 2-time welterweight champion, IBF and WBC. He took his WBC belt. Kell Brook, IBF welterweight champion. Ugas, WBA super welterweight champion. Took the belt from Manny, right? So I think those fights right there. And then Mikey Garcia, even though Mikey Garcia was a lightweight, 135, and he came up 12 pounds to fight welterweight, no matter what he tried to do, it didn't work against Spence. You know what I mean? So, Spence had his number regardless. You know what I mean? The only other ones I can remember going up like that was Shane Mosley went up 2 divisions to fight De La Hoya at welterweight, I believe it was. Same thing, 135 up to 147. Other than that, maybe Duran's done it. I think maybe Duran's done it, but I'm not sure if he succeeded or not. But Duran has been champ at middleweight, beat Iran Barkley, and you got to think, starting off at 130, 135, and now you're 30 pounds heavier, and you become a champion at middleweight division. You know what I mean? And Roberto Duran is not a tall man. He's only like 5'8", I believe, 5'9", tops. So, you know what I mean? That's what makes him a legend. You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't get it when you say, oh, Floyd Mayweather Jr., he's the greatest. You don't know what great is until you go watch, some Roberto Duran fights. Don't go watch him get knocked out by Hearns or Hagler. You know what I mean? Go watch him, all these fights where he dominated. You're talking about a guy that had well over 100 and some fights. You know what I mean? Go look at Sugar Ray Robinson, 175-1. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that he was. I forgot what it was. 75-1, and then he went so many more fights. You know what I mean? That's real pound for pound shit. You know what I'm saying? But of course, if you've never seen it, you don't know about it, and this is all you know is what you've been seeing the last 15 years, 20 years, then you ain't going to know. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, Big Lou going to tap on out. Once again, shouts out and salute to the champ, WBO welterweight champ, Bud Crawford, for another victory. And I'm out.